room with no sight of the sky. It really is depressing, Chair, and I would urge that this is refused. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Ingle. Laura, would you like to come back on anything?
Yes, no, certainly. All I would just ensure members are mindful of is what can be done through permitted development. They can apply for it's a semi-detached property. They could have a 4-metre extension without requiring planning permission. This is a 4.4-metre extension. So what we're looking at is that additional 40 centimetres that they couldn't have under PD. So I'd just be mindful of that if we are looking for a negative recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Members of the committee.
Thanks, Chair. I thought I'd sit over this side so you could see me this time. I propose we have a site visit.
Anybody wish to second that? Councillor Jennings, you'll be known as a seconder soon. Okay, those in favour of it? Anybody against? 2. Yeah. The only reason I sort of put my hand up for not visiting is because of the fact that it's permitted development, and but at the end of the day it's the committee members, so we'll have a site visit. We'll have to arrange a minibus at this rate. Good. Right. Item 3, another fun one. 130 Uttoxeter Road, pages 18 to 27. And it's you again, Ian, I believe.
Many thanks, Chair. Just to highlight a couple of pertinent points here. This is currently a 6-bed house in multiple occupation, and the proposal is to increase it to 8 occupants, so an increase of 2 people. You'll note from the report that there was an application refused in November 2020, and it was for the following reason on page 22. I'll read it out for you. In the opinion of the local planning authority, the proposed change of use of the property to an 8-person, 6-bed house in multiple occupation would create an over-intensification of the residential use of the property, resulting in an unacceptable form of development that would be detrimental to the prevailing character of the wider residential area by reason of the required additional on-street parking to serve future residents, which could not be safely be provided on the local highway, particularly due to the limited amount of parking space available and resulting increase in traffic on Uttoxeter Old Road. The relevant policies are then quoted, and then your report highlights why we are reporting this current application and recommending it for approval. The previous application was change of use from a dwelling to an 8-person HIMO. The current application is the basis is an existing 6-person HIMO, and the second factor, which is a material change in circumstances from the previous application, is the existence of the tilted balance, the fact that we now have more pressing housing need, and the policy position which states that when you're in that tilted balance scenario, you have to look at the disbenefits of the proposal, and they have to significantly and demonstrably outweigh the benefits. So that's why we're in this current situation, Chair, and this current recommendation relative to the previous application. There are no speakers on this, Chair, and I will throw it open to the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Members of the committee. Councillor Carr.
Thank you, Chair. I well remember the previous long discussion we had on this property at the time. I think, as probably we discussed in the presentation earlier tonight, we're in a fix with NPPF and the legality of this opportunity. I don't see any way we can successfully defend a refusal of appeal, so I'll be voting in favour, Chair.
Anybody else? Councillor Rawson.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think had I been on the committee at the time, I would have agreed with the committee's original decision back then. But the application we're looking at this evening is we're in different circumstances. So there's it's already an HMO, and you're really talking about. You're not talking about any physical extensions to the building, and in effect you're converting 2 single bedrooms into 2 double bedrooms. So I do find myself agreeing with Councillor Carr that it'd be very difficult to justify a refusal for this one. It's not to say I particularly like the position that we're in, because it leaves the door open for applicants who have been refused before to then go down the permitted development route and almost present the committee with a fait accompli of being in a very difficult position and not being able to refuse then an application to go up to the original 8-person household. So it's not a very good position to be in, Chair, and another reason why I think I agree with everything that was said earlier on in terms of strengthening our policies to make sure that we're in a better position to regulate these sorts of applications in the future, Chair.
Thank you, Martin. Anybody else? No? Well, this is what I said, I don't know, maybe a year, 18 months ago, another way of developers skirting around the issues, applying for 6-bed, and then later on coming back with saying we want to add another 2 occupants, and sometimes we're in a very difficult position to say, no, you can't have it. And I'm afraid, and unfortunately for residents, this is a situation where we can't really say no, because of what's happened before and the fact that it's already going as a 6-occupant place. So if there's nobody else wanting to speak, does anybody want to move it to the vote? Councillor Carr, anybody second it? Councillor Rawson, Councillor West, everybody wants to second it. All those in favour of the officer's recommendation then? All those against? Okay. Well, by a majority of only 3 people voting, that's carried. Well, I've certainly, in the 18 years I've been on this committee, I've never had a meeting like this. Councillor Jennings, I hope you're not wanting to say anything on the application, because it's gone.
Chair, I think that just really shows you where we are on HMOs with this planning committee. Yeah, simple.
Well, you can rest assured the deadly duo of myself and Jed will tackle this head on, even if we get punched in the snout, but we'll carry on. Okay, moving on to item 10, potential future site visits, although I dare say with the 2 we got tonight as well, I mean, we're going to be very busy.
This is for a new block of, I think it's 14 apartments opposite Redwood Primary School on that irregular shaped plot. You can see all from the public zone. Do you need plans there, James? You can just, no. It's just a 2-storey block, Chair.
Okay. Anybody want to see it now?
No. Possibly wouldn't recommend this because I've told Stephen Bate to determine this as soon as feasibly possible. It's for 2 storage units to serve Alstom and their construction of trains and component parts and things. Councillor Potter?
Ian, what are ZAP shelters?
Don't know. They sound good though, don't they?
That's why he's saying don't go for a tackle.
Well within the body of the site though, Councillor Potter. I don't think you really... You could stand in Osmaston Road and take a look through the...
Chair,
over the
I
wall.
served an apprenticeship on that site. I don't need to go and see it.
But definitely need to demolish it then.
This is Derby Triangle. Laura might know a bit more about this than me. She's walked around the site today, actually. Any interest, Laura?
I'd probably say no. Just a series of, well, further carry on of what they were obviously already construction on site, a series of large industrial units.
See it all from the road.
I can. It's a container mounted storage shelter, so they're sort of those fabric-y type shelters. Unlikely that needs planning permission.
Well, in what has been a very unusual meeting, I'd like to thank you all for turning up and thank Paul for doing that presentation, and hopefully we'll have a similar one next time we're here. And with that in mind, say good evening to all of you, and we shall see each other on Tuesday, Paul.